What's cracking?
Unleash the Kraken.
Ah! Sorry, that was my Kraken. Welcome to Robbins Nest. I am Kevin.
I am Mary.
So we have wine.
Wine. Wednesday.
No Pugsley.
What?
Wednesday and Pugsley.
Oh.
Gotcha. Anyways, so it's Wine Wednesday. We haven't done one of Oakley's in a while. Stuttering over here. So, if we must start, this is our wine for the episode.
To just continue the Whole Foods
So this is
theme.
Lolia.
This is the original reason why we went to Whole Foods.
This is Lolia.
And
it's white sangria.
It's white sangria. I adore both the white and the red sangria. This one does have Moscato in it.
So this is not a taste test. We've already had this before.
Oh, we're familiar with this one.
We're familiar with this one. It is, I don't know if it's exclusive to Whole Foods, but that's where we've been finding it.
Yeah, I haven't found it anywhere else.
We haven't found it anywhere else.
Like in Virginia for Christmas when I was promised. Yeah, had to throw that in there.
Anyways, so yeah, Whole Foods Lolia White Sangria. That's exactly how you have to say it, just like that.
Sangria.
Sangria. It's like a little bit of
Sangria.
Close.
Oh, okay.
All right. So, our topic. 2 minutes into the video, we finally get to the topic. We're gonna talk a little bit why we started our channel on YouTube.
Why? Oh, why?
I promise she hasn't started yet. So why did we start our channel on YouTube?
Guys.
First, we started the channel off because I started watching videos and saw people, just regular people,
doing stuff,
sharing their stuff, their hauls or toys, whatever.
Well, I think so I think it began with, I've always kind of done subscription boxes, different subscription boxes.
Not like the nerdy stuff that we were showing you, but
collectibles. More of like, I did the Honest Company. I did one that was like citrus, and it was like stuff for kids. So when I had confronted Kevin about doing like a Lego box that I had seen, and I was like, well, I don't know how well I really trust it. It seems kind of iffy, and we started doing research. And then he's like, hey, do you know they have these like nerd boxes? And I was like, a nerd box? And he was like, yeah, and so we went to our trusty YouTube.
And so we started finding people doing the
MCC.
Well, no, before that we even started seeing people doing like loot crates and nerd blocks. And then I was like, well, I wonder if there's any like stuff that, like, those boxes cover like a whole gamut of different things. So I want to go look for boxes that covered specifically interests of ours, starting with like Marvel, Star Wars, stuff like that, and they already had the MCC box out by that time. And then we caught on basically when the Guardians of the Galaxy box came out, which just happened to be right around the same time
Christmas.
Star Wars. I think we just missed
the
Star Wars box, the first one. We just missed that one.
The ordering period.
Yeah. So
because we had it in time. I think even before the New Year, we had the second box ordered. We just missed the ordering.
For the first box.
Yeah.
Because we got the Guardians of the Galaxy, and I think we just missed the cutoff and whatnot for the Star Wars box. So, we started watching YouTube. We started seeing, obviously we found all the bigger ones with the great editings and stuff like that. Then we started finding some smaller channels. That were just, I mean, everyone's just a regular person, but just people, no hijinks, no, just talking to the camera. So it ran the gamut for us, and we're like, hey, should we try it? and we tried it, and we like it. We get to know various people.
You people. And you and
people.
you and you and you and you.
Put your pants back on, man. Jeez. I'm trying to do a channel here. Man, yo, you really watch like that?
You do sometimes.
Anyways, so yeah, we have always been very social people. We always like meeting new people. We haven't gone to a place for even a decent amount of time without getting to know somebody. Say our cruise. Our cruise, we met another couple on our honeymoon.
On our honeymoon cruise, yeah.
On our honeymoon, and it was kind of weird. We were sitting, it was like the four of us. It was us two and the other two. And
we're both newlyweds.
Both newlyweds, and I guess that's how they selected it. And we came...
The first couple, like, I think it was the first two nights we were very awkward. It was like...
How you doing? And then by the third night, we were like having drinks. We were like, she and the other girl were like drinking
Hawaiians.
Cocktails, and
very nice.
We were buying buckets of Bud and Bud Light for each other by the end of the cruise.
I don't know if I should really say this. I was underage. Well, I mean, under drinking age.
Not by cruise standards. Don't worry.
No, we were in international waters.
Anyways,
we had so much fun.
Anyways, so
much fun.
We're not.
Well, I think what we really enjoyed about it was that, like, it was fun that we went off during the day and did our scavengers, and we did our excursions, and then they did something totally different. So when we sat down for dinner, we would just talk about what we were doing during the day.
Yeah, we didn't come like BFFs, like...
It wasn't like that, but it was definitely enjoying other people's company and just getting to know...
Exactly.
people.
And we've seen other, like, we've been on other cruises where, like, we sat at the dinner table and we're like... Because the other people were just not into it. They were...
No, not us.
No, that's what I'm saying. The other people were not into...
Oh, like, we would look around the dining room, yeah, and it'd be very awkward, and... I mean, I think...
Like, some people would look like they skipped dinners. Like, one cruise we had where, like, a family would, like, skip their formal dinners. Or, not even formal dinners, their regular dinners. They would just have the buffet. It's like, whatever.
Yeah.
Anyways, so back to YouTube. Especially for me, since moving down to South Florida, and even moving to Florida in general, I haven't had, like, a close-knit of friends. I've gotten to know some people when I first moved here, when I worked for Disney. Got to know some people and would hang out with them. We would go shoot pool, watch movies, and go to the clubs or whatever. But since we moved to South Florida...
Those clubs are no longer at Disney, by the way.
But since we moved to South Florida, I really don't know anybody down here. And even the people I work with, it was either... At one job, everyone was either older than me, so it wasn't really similarities where they have like grown kids. Now I'm at jobs where people don't even have kids, so that dynamic of like when you don't grow up with each other, and one has kids and the other ones don't, it seems like it's a very awkward. So this is one way for me to get my socialization, I should say. I mean, I'm very social at work and out in public, but I don't have a clutch of friends.
See, for me, it's a little different because since we moved to South Florida, I've had the same job, and I was able to make a couple of close friends there. But I'm a strong believer where we're in the workplace, I try to definitely keep that professional persona there, just because it's work. I mean, and people are petty, so this is my area to just be me. I can be as weird as I want, and if I want to laugh so hard that I snort, that's fine. But at work, it's just totally different. You really have to, because you never know. One day, everyone's the same. The next day, someone's a manager. And there's that level of respect that you have to have. So for me, yeah, it's good to have some friends at work, but it's not the same thing as having friends outside of work. So.
Like I said, it's really a different situation if you haven't been in your area for long periods of times. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like, moving down here...
Sorry.
Moving down here, not really knowing anybody
me.
And stuff like that. And it would be very, very weird to be like, go to the park. But, hey, You want to be my best friend? You want to
Well,
join
it's hard
my
to say
circle of
because in
trust?
South Florida, like, you see a lot of homeless people at the park. So you gotta be careful.
But it's not like it's not like we're kids anymore where you're just like, hey, you're my best friend now.
Well, it's not just about that. It's the fact that I mean, let's face it, we got married when we were young, and that was perfectly fine for us. But when we were getting married, a lot of our friends were sowing their wild oats, or they were having kids, but they weren't married. So then by the time that our friends where their kids were older, now we're starting to have kids. And so our kids are younger. It's just been a little difficult to keep up with some friends that we used to have, because when you have kids, everything changes. And when you get married, I feel like everything changes, because I remember I had a good friend of mine that she was like, I mean, we were like 19, 20, and she was like, hey, you want to come over for a sleepover? And I was like, I'm married.
It's like, yeah, the only people that are sleeping over is like if we go out or if we have a party at the house and everyone gets a little too much in them.
That was something different, but
so
it wasn't
you crash at the house,
but it wasn't really a sleepover. It wasn't like come in your pajamas, and I don't know, like at that point that just kind of seemed weird to me.
But it seems like some of your friends back home still do that. It's like
they really do, and they
still flow in the same circles.
And for me, that's just kind of awkward, because I can't say that I feel like I'm the same person that I was in high school. I can't even say that I was the same person when I was 20 or 21, and I'm about to turn 28. And I think people never understood how we were, like, in a serious relationship. Like, we were married. Like, we're married people. Like, have respect for that. And so that was a little awkward. But we did have a group of friends when we were at Disney that seemed to really respect that and really understand that. And we used to have a lot of house parties, because even though we were married, we still like to party, we still like to have fun. It was just... We
were usually the designated house to, because we had college program kids that were away from home for holidays. We had some people that were older and they had kids or whatever, and they would still come, but it wasn't as weird because we all clicked. It wasn't like half the group and half the group. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it wasn't one or two of us and we had our clique. Like, it was a majority of us from the back of the house in the kitchen. So, but anyway, so socialization. You might see us comment on your guys' videos. You notice that we comment back on a lot of your comments to our videos. Is because especially I, with my work schedule and even my work environment, I'm able to be on my phone. So when you comment...
not so much.
When you comment, usually I'm the one answering them. She might see them, but I'm usually the one commenting. And usually if I get the notification, I answer right away.
Now, if you hit me up on Facebook...
Yeah, that's why I'll
reach out to you.
We have our social media... various social medias in the description. I'm pretty good at putting those in every description of every video. So if you hit us up and we're like, who is this? Just let us know who it is, and we'll likely know who you are from the videos. But we are not shy people at all. I have up until recently, when we were trying to juggle a few things, I had a steady flow of about 2,000 or so followers on Twitter, and not too many comments go by on my feed without a reply back. I have, three Twitter handles. One for baseball.
He's a Twitter whore.
One for my personal, where I cover everything, and one just for like this channel. So pretty much that covers the toys, the collectibles, the baseball cards, stuff like that, and video games. The other one basically covers pretty much just baseball and the Yankees side of baseball. And then I have my personal, which runs the gamut of news blogs, music blogs, everyone's personal stuff. So you can catch me on any of those, and I will talk about whatever for the most part. What else?
So
and Facebook, obviously. Facebook's pretty big.
So I think that we started this channel
also for the boys.
Not just
for us.
Well, not just for us, and not just to be like, look at our cool stuff, even though we have cool
definitely
stuff.
That's not what it is.
But it's interacting, and it's
No, because as cool as our stuff is, people got some, like, they got some crazy shit.
They do.
We've seen some other people with some crazy shit.
But I think it's also just having a voice out there. We've been going through some stuff that we feel like we're the only ones going through it, even though we're not. If there's some situations where until you're put in that situation, you will not understand how it feels. And so this is, I guess, a way for us to connect with other people and be like, this is how we feel, and for other people to be like, I know that exact feeling. Want to go a little bit more in depth?
About a recent situation?
I guess so.
Yeah, so recently I've shared some of this on Facebook, I believe, and we might have touched on it on YouTube, but Xander, our oldest son, he just recently got diagnosed with ASD, autism spectrum disorder, and he's very high functioning. When I say high functioning, very high functioning. He has a lot of sensory overload and a lot of emotional overload.
Mm-hmm.
So one way we thought of coping for him is maybe getting on a camera. He loves being on camera, if you guys haven't noticed. He likes the attention. He thrives on the attention and the good attention as well. So we're hoping one way to give him therapeutic releases is to get on video and to also see, like, he can see his emotions in front of him. Right?
Right.
And also, like, to reach out to others that might have
might be going through the same thing.
I think other people have reached out to us. Russ and Stacy from Your Average Techie, I believe their sons have ASD. Maybe one of them or maybe both. I'm not quite sure. I think also Mel from Fangirling with Mel told me today that her brother or brother-in-law, I want to say brother or brother-in-law, has ASD or something similar. And quite a few other people have told us about their, either whether it be family member, their personal, just certain things that that they go through. And it is a release instead of just, like she said, where it's you think that you're the only one dealing with it. Even though the numbers and statistics say it isn't, you aren't. You can't possibly be the only one. This is one way to get that out there, to be able to reach out to people. It's not by any means looking for pity. Not by any means. It's sharing of ideas. It's trying to figure out what works for you and what doesn't work, and what may work for us that we might be able to implement, that you give influences, or we say what works for us.
Well, it's definitely not about pity, because we don't pity ourselves and we don't pity the situation. I guess the irony of life is that before we moved down to South Florida, we used to work with children. We had a family business in childcare, and so we've dealt with children with special needs. So that was nothing different for us. I think what's just shocking is that when you're in a situation, you're blindsided. When it's your kids, you really don't notice it. And I guess that's what happened to us with Xander, was that we've always said that Xander was smart. He always had his little quirks, but we always took it as he's just being quirky. It wasn't till he was getting ready to go to actually kindergarten where things started to arise, and it was a long 1.5 year battle now to finally really understand what's going on. And it was really difficult, especially for me in the beginning, because I was like, if I've dealt with these kids, how would I have missed it in my own child? But you get so caught up in your own life and that's your own child that you become biased on the decisions or the choices that you make. Not to say that you're making any bad choices or bad decisions, but just the fact that you can't see the whole picture because you're in it. And it was very difficult for me in the beginning because I was so scared of, like, oh my God, did I really let Xander down? But then it was kind of a wake-up call that had to be that quote-unquote tiger mom. You really have to be on the defensive. You have to be also on the offense and looking up programs and looking up how I can get help for my child. And it's more of just having that support group, knowing that if you need help, hit me up on Facebook. We could talk about this together. You want to cry, you want to yell, you want to scream. Trust me, I've cried, I've yelled, I've screamed. I've gotten upset. I've yelled at teachers. I've yelled at administrators. What do you mean my child is different? My child is perfect in every way, and he is to me because I love him to death. And just because he has this does not make him any less of a child. I think it makes him that much better of a child because of the fact that he is just going to overcome this in every way he can. And it's so difficult and it's so frustrating because people look at him and they say he doesn't have anything. And
yeah, that's the one common thing that we're seeing a lot of from parents and other people that are telling us, like, they know someone with it or they are living with somebody with autism spectrum disorder, is that they don't look like it. They look normal. Yes, that is the case because this is not a hereditary gene it's not a genetic thing where, as some disorders, you have a physical display of an issue.
It's a neurological.
There you go. She got it.
Disorder.
Neurological disorder. So
where, like, Sebastian doesn't have it.
No, they are two opposite children with pretty much the same goals, and that's pretty much to bug their parents.
Nonstop.
But they are two polar opposites. One is overly sensitive. The other one
doesn't care. He straight does not give any fucks. No. Like, he really does not.
So it's really funny that, but like we said, this is our form of release, and I think that goes with a lot of people, that it's their way of, whether it's you're the black sheep in your family, or there's too many, like you don't have any family, or you have too much family where you just don't have, your voice is getting lost, or whatever it may be. It's not necessarily you've been neglected one way or another, but it's just your voice gets lost, or your voice doesn't mix in with your crowd. Mm-hmm. So you have to go, in this day and age, your crowd doesn't necessarily have to be physically around you anymore.
Well, but we've always been the type of people, we like a diverse group of people. I don't always like engaging with the people right around me because we're all kind of in the same thing. I want to know
what other people's perspectives are. This is
well, not just that, but I mean, like, when we interact with people, like, from Europe and the UK, and it's to get different perspectives.
Yeah, they're different terminology. It's kind of funny. One of the things that I get a good laugh at is when I had my interview and I wore my little bow tie, and our friend Andy from the UK, I guess they call bow ties dickies, and there is no way in hell I would ask anybody, how does my dickie look here in the States? They would probably look at my face and look straight down and be like, you let your wife tell you how your dick is doing. So it's just those little quirks and those little statements and phrases and what is the word I'm looking for? How you speak, colloquialisms from different regions of the country. It's one way to really get to know people and on their level. I will always say the one word that I hate, yes, and I said hate, is the word hella. I cannot stand the word. I lived on the West Coast. That word originated from what I believe, and a lot of people tell me, I blame it on California, but a lot of Californians, especially Southern Californians, and I know quite a few, from the baseball world. It's a hotbed, and a lot of them blame Northern California for it. But I hate the word hella. And when I left the West Coast, I thought I was done with the shit. Now it's moved on, and I find it very lazy. It's not even to the point of lazy as in ain't.
Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like ain't.
But ain't is been accepted at least in conversationals.
Yeah,
but hella is just like.
My most recent terminology that I cannot stand is bae.
Bacon and eggs.
Bacon and eggs. To me, bae is bacon and eggs.
Bae in our house is bacon and eggs. You bring it around here, and we might cook you a breakfast.
And bruh. Listen, this is my bruh right here. Like, seriously, guys.
We're not saying we have the best English, and we
but I could definitely be very articulate when I want to be articulate. But
sometimes it gets too much. Anyways, off that bandwagon or off that soapbox, but yes, just releases of and expressing your voice to the masses. Our mass is not as big as others, obviously, because we don't have that big of a crowd around us, but it's a very good crowd.
Well, but we
have a pretty good, strong crowd right around us right now, and we are expanding. Obviously, we are gonna, and we like the fact that a lot of our followers, or subscribers, I should say. Sorry, on Twitter it's followers, but our subscribers range, and I love that. I love that there's some things that I put out on baseball, and I'll get comments strictly on just baseball topics.
Like your balls?
My balls. And then some other people is like the comics, or sometimes it's the food, or the pops. So it's nice that we might expose others to stuff that they might not have been exposed to, or we're not really particularly interested in being exposed to. But they still watch the video, and they get a kick out of it. I think we've touched on this with Jeff Soares and about his Legos. He obviously, I hope he knew what Lego was.
I'm sure
pretty sure he was aware of what Lego was, and I'm pretty sure he was aware of what Lego was, what it could have been. Not just like the Lego product, but that there's different sets, and there might have been sets that he would have been interested in, but it just never piqued his interest to buying any with his own money. Jeff has a very good collection of horror stuff. And unfortunately, Lego doesn't have an overabundance of horror, but we hooked him up with some Lego, and he liked it enough to build it. So that was a thumbs up for us, and that's what we would like to see. That's what we're here for. We're like when we do our giveaways, it's not a here, take my shit and get it, and that's all you're getting. We like to help you guys out on whatever you may want and need, and you just haven't got yet. And you might get exposed to stuff that you likely might have not picked up your own, unless if you're very diverse like that. But our collection ranges pretty extensively, as you guys have seen, and we haven't even touched on a lot of our collections yet. So that is why we joined the tubers. You got anything else? I know you got something to say. No? Not yet?
No, I mean, I think we pretty much summarized, without going on another rant or tangent, I think we summarized.
So if you watch this video, take your hand like this, put it over your back, and pat yourself, because you survived a pretty good couple rants there. And thank you for that. Thank you for putting up with us. Thank you for spreading the word. There's been a couple people that shouted it out. I think oh my goodness, what is his name? A couple new subscribers. Comic Noob Semperfi Comics, and I want to say Wonky Ninja. Thank you guys for joining and
it's a funny name.
Keeping the conversations going.
Yep.
You got any shout outs?
Shout out to my peeps. All of you.
It's not Easter time anymore.
You all know who you are.
Is it me?
No. You're not my peep.
I'm not.
And you're not my bae either, so.
I've cooked you a couple of bays, okay?
We already had dinner.
I know. And we already had our taste test. If you haven't watched it, go watch it. So
that's the Wine Wednesday. I already finished. You like our nice little glass?
We're out.
We still have our wine glasses in boxes, so.
Yeah, we repacked them because we thought we were moving. But Avengers Assemble to finish this bottle. I think we're done. Oh, we got a little bit more.
A little bit more.
Felt like a little bit. Anyways, that's it, guys. See you later.